Hello. This time, we will introduce Koichiro Fujita's book, Children's Happiness is 70% Determined by the Gut, How to Create the Strongest Gut Environment by Age 3. Children's happiness is 70% determined by the gut, decided by age 3. It's a title that makes you curious, isn't it? Hearing this, some people might be surprised, it's determined by the gut, not the brain? The author of this book is Mr. Koichiro Fujita. He is a very distinguished scholar who researches microorganisms, and when you listen to him talk, he is a very friendly person, as if he is talking to the intestinal bacteria. He called them kinshan. He doesn't just do difficult research, but conveys the image of a person who teaches us how we can live healthily and happily from the perspective of the small lives within our bodies, the microorganisms. The most important message of this book is that the crucial key for a child to grow up healthy and happy lies in the intestinal bacteria inside their belly. In fact, it seems highly likely that not only our physical health, but also whether we can study well, interpersonal skills like getting along with friends, and the ability to bounce back from stress, in other words, resilience, are all dependent on the work of these intestinal bacteria. In our intestines, there are 3 types of bacteria: good bacteria, bad bacteria, and opportunistic bacteria. Having many types of these in a good balance, which is called having a rich gut flora, chonaifu roriga yutaka, is very important. Intestinal bacteria live by getting nutrients from what we eat, and at that time, they make vitamins necessary for our bodies and help the function of immune cells. In particular, it is known that immune cells, called Tregs, Tregu, that act as a brake to suppress the runaway of immune cells which causes allergies and autoimmune diseases, are also created by substances produced by intestinal bacteria. Furthermore, happiness hormones, shiawase hormone, like serotonin, and dopamine, which are related to happy feelings such as joy and fun, as well as motivation and concentration, are largely involved in the creation by intestinal bacteria. The gut is also called the second brain, and is said to be an intelligent organ that makes more accurate judgments than the brain. The brain and the gut are closely connected and influence each other. This is called the gut-brain axis. And the basis of the diversity of these intestinal bacteria, that is, their diversity, is said to be almost determined by the age of 3. Once this diversity is determined, it is said to be difficult to establish new types of bacteria later. Therefore, it is important to be exposed to as many types of bacteria as possible during this period up to age 3. Specifically, what should you do? First, skinship, suchinshipu, which involves physical contact with your father, mother, and family, as well as many other people, is important. Babies receive bacteria when passing through the mother's birth canal and from breast milk, but bacteria also transfer through being held, etc. Also, not being overly clean. Recently, there are many sterilization and disinfectant goods, but if you clean your surroundings too much with these, you eliminate even the good bacteria that babies should ideally be exposed to. Babies licking the floor or putting things in their mouths are actually instinctively trying to take in bacteria that are good for their bodies. Also, going outside and interacting with nature, shisento fureyau, is very effective. In the soil, there are many soil bacteria that enrich the gut environment. There are also research results indicating that interaction with animals leads to allergy prevention. Of course, diet is also important. It is recommended to consume plenty of dietary fiber and oligosaccharides, origoto, which the intestinal bacteria like, in other words, are their food. Fermented foods, called probiotics, purobiotikusu, such as yogurt, natto, and miso are also recommended. Conversely, food additives, chemical seasonings, and sweet snacks, amaioyatsu, etc., are causes of disrupting the balance of intestinal bacteria, so it is better to avoid them as much as possible. A regular lifestyle rhythm, sekatsurizmu, is also important for the gut. The gut works actively at night while we are sleeping, so it is important to aim for an early dinner and sufficient sleep. Chewing food well also has a good impact on the gut. And the barometer for knowing the state of the gut environment is poop. Unchi. If you make a habit of observing the color, shape, and smell of poop every day, you can understand your child's stomach condition. Ideal poop is said to be banana-shaped, yellowish-brown or brown with little odor. After the age of 3, unfortunately, it is difficult to establish new types of bacteria, but it is possible to increase the number of existing good bacteria. By eating plenty of dietary fiber and leading a regular life, you can energize the intestinal bacteria. Reading this book, you will understand well that intestinal bacteria are like important partners living together in our bodies. Making an effort to live a life that pleases them leads to a child's lifelong health and happiness. Those who are currently raising children, those who are planning to become parents, and those who are concerned about their own health, please pick up this book and listen to the voices of the unseen small partners. Surely, your daily life will become richer.